Hey guys, lepedaler back with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Giant's Revolt 2 gravel bike for $1,000. Yes, I'm wearing my flannel, so you know we're going to be talking about gravel. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. If you guys are new to the channel and this is the first video that you're watching of mine, I highly suggest that you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's only going to help me get these bikes in hand and be able to make more comprehensive reviews, and that will only be better content for you guys and for future viewers. So I highly suggest you do that. To everyone that's already been doing that and liking this video and has already subscribed, I just want to give you guys a big thank you, because with the growth of this channel, the quality and content is only going to get better, which is going to be great for you guys and also great for me, because as I grow this channel, I just want to help as many riders as I can on various topics of cycling. So if you guys can do that with me, it'd be greatly appreciated. But let's get right into this video now. So we are taking a look at the Giant Revolt 2 2020 gravel bike. It is going for $1,000, which I think is a great price point for people that are trying to get into gravel. If you guys are not familiar or just trying to get into the sport, and this is one of the bikes that you guys are considering, gravel is basically cycling but on gravel roads. So that's the terrain that you're cycling on. Usually when you think of cycling, you think of road cycling, which is on the road, which is paved roads, where gravel is specifically on a different terrain, which I think is amazing. I myself have recently gotten into gravel riding as well, and as soon as the weather really heats up here in Canada, I'm going to be doing tons of gravel riding, just because I think it's such a cool discipline. It encourages people to get on their bikes and explore and have an adventure. And you know, gravel riding is so cool because usually gravel roads are found in less densely populated areas. So what that means is there won't be as many cars passing you, which is really nice, because especially if you're new to the sport and you're not that comfortable on the road, it can be quite intimidating when cars are passing you going 50-60 kilometers an hour, which is pretty intimidating, especially when I started. So if you can get that experience, a good experience of road riding, which is going to be gravel riding but on gravel roads, you'll have a lot better overall initial experience to cycling. And I think it's just a cool discipline because, like I said, if it encourages people, because it takes away that fear of having cars pass you, and it's like you're on a back road, which is gravel, which there's less people passing you. Usually when I've done gravel rides in the past, you know, you'll have your occasional car, but it's very, very, very not likely that you'll be passed as frequent as you are on the road. So just wanted to give you guys a little insight on gravel riding if you are new, but you clicked on this video to find out more about the Revolt 2. So the Revolt 2, just off the top, is a 9-speed bike, which means it has 9 gears at the back, which if you're beginning in cycling and just beginning to get into riding, 9-speed is very good, especially at this price point. It is aluminum frame with a carbon fiber fork, which is great because that reduces the overall weight, where some other bikes are going to be all aluminum, which can be quite heavy, quite sluggish. And that's one thing too that, you know, is important to understand, is that for $1,000 you guys are going to be getting a bike that's, you know, pretty heavy. But then again, that's not the deal breaker, right? You're just getting into cycling. Usually if you're getting into cycling, it's for fitness gains also. So not only do you have weight to lose, but the bike doesn't have to be as light as a feather to be enjoyable, right? So that's just something to keep in mind, because I find a lot of times people are pressured into buying lighter bikes, and at the end of the day, you know, even when I was losing weight and getting back into shape, right, like you have a lot to improve, and it's not really the bike that needs to improve so much, it's more so you. So, you know, the bike weighs at 10.4 kilograms, so I don't think it's dramatic. It's not 15 kilograms, it's 10.4 kilograms, which is decent, especially, like I said, you have to be realistic. It's a $1,000 bike, so I think the weight's still good. Now, in terms of tire clearance, you're getting a 40 millimeter max tire clearance, which I think you can bump up to 42. So that's just usually, it depends on the tire. And other than that, that's basically what the bike looks like. So if we look at some pictures, it comes in 2 colors. So this is a red color, and it comes in the metallic black. I personally like metallic black. I like shades when it comes to gravel, but then again, I think the red looks also pretty sleek, pretty nice. Now, one thing that you guys need to know is that on this bike, we'll look at the stats, the specs actually, and you know, like I said, it has Shimano Sora, which is a 9-speed Shimano group set. I feel like it's very good. especially if you're new to cycling, you won't really be able to tell the difference between, let's say, Sora or 105 or Ultegra. If you're not familiar with those terms, I've made a video on my channel talking about different Shimano group sets, so feel free to look at that. I'll link it in the description below. But the Shimano Sora group set is a great group set, especially for beginning. A 9-speed group set is more than enough, I would say, for someone that's getting into gravel. It has the Giant SX2 disc wheel set. I find those rims really nice. Like I said, the weight is already 10.4 kilograms. Now, in terms of the tires, these are Giant's tubeless tires. So what tubeless means is that there's not a tube inside. There's actually sealant, which seals off the tube. It seals off the tire, and it has no tube. So you can run lower PSI, lower pressure in the tire, and you don't have to worry about flats. But then again, it's always recommended to bring an extra tube and repair kit just in case. But the chances of you having a flat tire is greatly reduced. In terms of the crank set, you're getting an FSA crank, which is right here. That's the crank. And that is a 4832. So that's called a subcompact crank set. And that's amazing because for adventure riding, and sorry, I'm just going to say this too because it adds to the point. It comes with an 1134, meaning the biggest cog at the back has 34 teeth, which is amazing. So having a subcompact, having smaller gears at the front and a big gear at the back, it's going to make it very effortless to get over some pretty steep climbs. So especially if you're new to the sport, having bigger gear selection, bigger gear ratio is amazing because you just don't have to, be under geared and have to like really torque up hills. You want to be fluid. You want to have a good cadence, which is how many times your legs are spinning. So Giant did an amazing job at just making I think this is a very well priced gravel bike for $1,000. You're getting very good gear ratio. You're getting a carbon fork, which is going to reduce the weight. One thing I want to note too, if you guys aren't familiar with Giant, is that they have defuse technology, and what that means is that the seat posts here will actually flex. So a lot of their rear, and this is often something you'll experience when you do gravel riding. It can get quite bumpy, right? Because you are on gravel roads. You're not on smooth paved roads. So having the rear be able to flex is going to be super nice, just because it'll take a lot of the bumps and a lot of the road vibrations off your lower back, which when I personally have ridden it, it's amazing. Now, one thing that you guys need to know also is that this system right here is called Giant's Conduct braking system. So what that does is it takes mechanical, so it has wires, right? So it takes mechanical braking levers and makes it hydraulic. So if you see here, let's see if we can get a picture of it. Here, this is hydraulic. But what it does here is that when you brake it, the wires pull, and then in the Giant Conduct system, which is it's Giant's way of making mechanical into hydraulic. So from my experience riding it, it's not as good as hydraulic, right? Hydraulic will always be a hydraulic, but I would say severely, it improves severely when compared to mechanical. So it's in the ballpark of in the middle of mechanical braking performance and hydraulic braking performance. So I find it's very good, and that's the only way you can get somewhat a better braking performance when compared to mechanical if you have Giant's Conduct system, and that's yet again something that's really nice to see for $1,000. Now, the only complaint I have with the Giant Conduct system is that it does make the cockpit area where the stem and the handlebars interject, it makes it kind of busy, but then again, it's better to have better braking performance than to have this area freed up and have mechanical. So I find it's very nice that we do have that, and it's not the end of the world. So now we're going to watch a video of the bike in real life. Now, like I said previously, if you guys do like these videos and subscribe to the channel and just help the growth, because I'll be posting other content on other bikes and just other cycling subjects, it will really help with the growth of this channel, which will improve the content and actually get me to get these bikes in person and give you guys better reviews, better content. And we just won't have to rely so much on the internet, and I can actually rely on real life testing. So if you guys could do that, it'd be greatly appreciated, and just helps me put out better content. But let's watch it right now. So the Giant Revolt 2 is right here. From what I can see in the video, this person put 45mm WTB tires. So the max tire clearance that they claim of 40 millimeters, I guess you can put wider tires. They just usually say 40 millimeters because they don't want to run the risk of advertising something as in 42s or 45s and it doesn't fit. But usually you can squeeze, I would say on most gravel and even cyclocross bikes, you can most likely squeeze 45s easily. So you can see there's a bunch of tire clearance. This bike looks really nice for $1,000 USD. I love the wider tires. 45 mils are super comfortable, but that's the Giant Revolt 2. That looks so nice for that price range. And like I said, personally riding it, it does perform really well. Then again, you have to be realistic, right? So if you're coming to the sport brand new, never have ridden a gravel bike ever, you're going to have to be somewhat understanding that the bike is not going to be super agile. It's not going to be super smooth. Like if you're comparing it to, let's say, a $2,000 Revolt or a $3,000 Revolt, which I've made a video on my channel comparing all the Revolts in the lineup. So if you guys do want to see that, I'll link it in the description also. But feel free to look at that video because I give a pretty good explanation on all the Revolts. But with this Revolt, my final thoughts and just my review of it, it's a great beginner gravel bike for $1,000. You're getting basically everything that I would say is essential to get you up and going in gravel. You know, it's going to get the job done. Now, is that going to be your forever bike? I don't think so. But then again, you're just getting into the sport, so it checks off everything that I would say is important. Yet again, we'll touch up on it. The weight is relatively low. It has tubeless tires. It has 9-speed gearing for shifting. It has some defuse technology, which is going to dampen the road vibrations. The geometry is really nice because it's somewhat similar to a road bike, but then again, it's designed specifically for gravel, for endurance, so it's going to put you in a comfortable position, nothing aggressive. So yeah, I think this is a great beginner gravel bike, and definitely if you guys have the opportunity in the upcoming time period, if you guys are considering this bike, feel free to go to your Giant retailer, test it out. I know it's hard because you usually test it in the parking lot, but if they have some grass beside it, give it a go on that and get a good feeling of the bike. Other than that, it's really up to you guys to test the bike out and see if you guys like it. But that's about it in terms of looking at the Giant Revolt 2 2020. I hope you guys did enjoy my take on the Giant Revolt 2 2020. If you guys did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. As I've mentioned previously, with the support and growth of this channel, we're going to get these bikes in. We're going to get some thorough testing done on them because I do ride a lot, so it is not a challenge for me to ride bikes and give you guys my thoughts on it. But until then, just bear with me. Please support the channel. I'm very appreciative of everyone that is doing that and already likes these videos and subscribes to the channel every time I post a video, so I'm very appreciative of that. And until the next one, keep on pedaling.